them, and then you pass their class with an A, and then left, and 2 years later you're a senior and you come back and ask for a recommendation letter. They're gonna look at you like, who are you? Because they get a lot of students in their classes. So you, after 2 years, more than likely they won't remember you. Or they won't appreciate the fact that you disappeared for 2 years, and then 2 years later you want to come back and ask for a recommendation letter. What you want to do is keep in contact by either emailing them. You don't have to email them all the time, probably monthly, or just keep in contact with them. Or if you know their office hours stay the same, even if you left their class, come back, still get to know them. Because the more frequent you keep in contact with these people, the better they get to know you and the better your recommendation letter will be. The third step is to ask. So when you ask them, don't be nervous. By this point when you're asking them, they should know you well enough to write a good recommendation letter. And when you ask them, don't be afraid to hear no. If you hear no, that is okay. Go on and make better relationships with other people, and I'm pretty sure you'll find at least one person to say yes to writing your recommendation letter. And also what I like to say is, make sure you give your recommender time to write your recommendation letter. So if you want to apply to med school, law school, professional school, for a scholarship, job, internship, make sure that you give them time. You look at the deadline and then you tell them a few weeks before it is due. Because if you wait till last minute, you're taking time out of their day that they may have something to do just to write a recommendation letter for you. So give them time to write it.
Alright, so now we're going to talk about that recommendation folder. First thing is going to be your resume. So you all should already have laid the groundwork for these relationships with your recommenders, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they know everything about you. So include your resume, because it'll more than likely happen that something will be in your resume that they didn't know about you and that they could potentially speak on in the letter. The next thing is include a cover letter. So if you're applying for interesting jobs, you're more than likely required to write a cover letter. Include that letter. If you're applying for professional school or something of that nature, include your statement of purpose or whatever, just so they can know your reason for applying for this position or whatever it is. Include information about the position that you are applying for, whether it's an internship or professional school, whatever, just so they can know what the position is all about, and they can cater the letter to what the position is actually asking for. And then even something I didn't even think about doing is include an outline of what you want them to cover in their letter. I think that's a great piece of information to include, again, because they might not know what you want them to talk about for this position. So if you include this letter, then it'll give them a wonderful idea of what you want them to say. And then the last two things, envelopes that are pre-addressed and include stamps. It's just much less of a hassle for them if they already have that stuff in there, so they can just write it and send it off as soon as possible. And then a thank you letter. We mentioned the thank you letter multiple times throughout the presentation, but that is really important. You need to always show your appreciation for your recommender, taking their time out of their day and writing this letter for you, because they have plenty of other stuff to do, whether it's a teacher or professional. They work, they teach classes and all that stuff, so just keep that in mind and make sure you include your thank you letter.
So we're going to talk about waiving your rights. When you're applying to a job on their website or something, or internship, grad school, sometimes they ask, do you wish to waive your rights to see the recommendation letter that your recommender has written? And you want to click yes. Does anybody know why they want to click yes? Well, look at the bullets. Yeah.
Because that way it's not them being biased because they're seeing it, they aren't afraid to say what they truly feel.
Yes, so she said it's a way of not being biased, and it's a way for the recommender to truly say what they know about you. And that is absolutely correct. By waiving your rights, it makes your recommendation letter more credible. It says that you did not influence your recommender in any way when writing your recommendation letter. And it also allows your recommender to have as much freedom to talk about you as they want. So, and it also allows them to be honest in their letter and talk about all your strengths and areas in which you have grown. So yes, click that yes. Wave your white.
Alright, and so the last thing what you got to do is just take a minute or two and write down 3 people that could potentially serve as your references or your recommenders for anything that you're applying for. So just go ahead and take that time and write that information down. Okay, so now that you have written down those 3 names, it's up to you guys. We give you the information that you need. So now's the time where you can start building those relationships and maintaining those relationships. So when the time comes for you guys to ask for these recommendations, you won't have any issues. And with that being said, thanks for coming to the last lunch. Again, if you go to 6 lunches, you are invited to the celebration on December 6th or December 3rd at 6 p.m. Coastal Ballroom, so don't forget about that. And thanks again for coming. We're here for questions if you all have any. So.
Will we receive the email for attending all 6?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So you'll probably see an email from me tomorrow. If you don't see it until Monday, that means I wasn't on top of my game.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you already get yours on?
Yeah, I got it, because I can't was here later. And we're going to announce the time.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Thank you, sir. David, I didn't see your application, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time, maybe next time. You want this?
If you could set it up there.
On the table. All right.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Sir?
See you later. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Good stuff, ladies. Any idea what my #1 complaint is going to be?
Filler words.
You got a couple.
You had a lot.
I'm sorry.
You did better than last time.
Really?
Yeah. You kind of, I think when you start thinking about something, you just say,
I don't even like.
You'd be like,
I don't
and you
even
go right
notice
in.
it.
Yeah, you don't even notice it. Did you watch the video the last time?
Yeah.
Did you notice your
Yeah. I mean, like when people point it out, then you notice it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who uses filler words actually notices that they're using them until it's been pointed
Yeah, I
out.
don't think.
Well, then, yeah, it's the idea of pointing it out, so then you can be aware.
Well, yeah, but then like once people point it out, then it's like every time you say it, you know, you stop and you'll be like, dang, I said it again.
And then slowly one day you get ahead of it. Maybe. That would not be what I would say for my #1.
Energy, I think it was kind of boring.
He-
If people-
I thought your energy was pretty good.
Their energy was bad. I guess
I feel like
I thought we ran over time because people were dipping.
they were leaving.
People were dipping because of energy, but what I would put as the reason for that, you had 2 activities, 1 activity?
Yeah, we didn't.
We had
No,
3.
okay, well we kind of think per share as activity.
That
but
did
y'all
raise
did
the
not.
energy though. That was
Okay, what was your complaint?
it was activities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Because even the Think Pair Share didn't happen for like 25 minutes.
Really?
Well,
So-
the Kahoot thing, I mean, that was
Good, yeah, but then 25 minutes.
People were actually like
I
answering
mean,
questions and
yeah.
asking questions.
We
and
were
that was
surprised because we didn't think they were gonna ask questions.
Yeah, but that's not a good like indicator of energy. That's
Yeah.
just the people that probably would have answered.
But I don't know,
anyways.
like, I don't know, because I even, like, whenever I met with Dr. Bell, like, asked what activities we could do, and he was like,
Hey, I'm sorry, I was meaning to ask, in regards to lunch, I don't have the full 6, but I'm not sure quite how many I have. Is there a way for me to check?
You should have gotten an email from me a couple weeks ago that has directions. You'll get one from me tomorrow,
Okay.
or Monday if you have 5 or more, 6 or more, or 5 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll have the directions on how to do that. But
Okay.
basically, when you get into EPAC on the right side, it says shortcuts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a series of links. One of them says My EPAC Activity, and you can go in there and check it out.
Okay, great, thank you.
Cool.
but I asked Dr. Bell, and he was like, we sat there and thought about it, and he was just like,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that
Yeah.
and I was
he
like,
doesn't have any. He doesn't do presentations like this. You know, he presents to a crowd of people, and he just
Oh,
delivers information.
yeah.
You know what we counted? We counted 4 activities, but I
You
feel
might
like
have had 4, but one was at the end,
No, one-
so that
yeah.
And
that
we had,
doesn't
like,
do
2
good for.
Yeah, we
energy
had
and
2
stuff.
like discussion and think your share.
Yeah.
And then the fears one, and I don't know.
Monday's group, for
They had a lot.
example.
I watched their video.
Oh, they had a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really good job with
Yeah,
that.
they did.
But content was good. Y'all did wonderful presenting. I mean, I have the nitpicky things in my notes, but that's like my only complaint. Activities
Yeah.
and
We
energy.
probably could have. That was cool.
People did get up and leave. There have been, just where way more people got up and left. The energy was still relatively good, because I think you were all presenting pretty well. So.
yeah, I
They
remember
were
standing over
boring.
there, I was like, people are leaving. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't have like a watch on, but I was like, what time is it?
Yeah.
Like,
No, they were bored.
And they were boring. They were very boring. Like,
What were?
They were.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
I feel like them to select those guys.
Yeah.
'Cause I
And then
know
they left
earlier-
too.
right, they like, I was like, how y'all gonna come in here doing all this
I
talking
know,
and then
right?
dip?
Trying to be out